All right, we are here, the Plugged In Show. We are like an hour behind schedule due to some unseen circumstances, whatever, but we are here. All my guests are in the building, so we're going to get right into it. I'm going to do the artist highlights if we got time a little bit later. All the people that was going to, I had a dude calling in today, BUD. He's supposed to call in and introduce one of this track, so if he calls in, we'll still do the track, but we're going to get right into the interview, so we got people from out of town in the building too, so we're going to get right into it. I'm going to start at this end right here. We got the Empress Shari DuBois.
What's going on, everybody? I am the Empress Shari DuBois, a.k.a. Shari Ferrari. Happy to be in the building today.
All right, let them know what you're about.
I'm a hip-hop artist and songwriter from Norristown. If you're not familiar, Norristown is a small town about 20 minutes outside of Philly. I've been rapping professionally now for like the past 3 or 4 years, and I'm really trying to take it to the next level of my career right now.
All right, and I remember I met you at I think it was Tipsy was the first show I seen you rock out at, right?
Yeah. You met me very early on in my career. One of my homies, Tut, connected me to Cocos, and he put the shows together out in Delaware, so that's how we connected a couple years ago.
Yeah. All right, and we got all the way from DC, right?
From DC. What's up, everyone? My name is OnRae LaTeal. I am a hip-hop producer, primarily. I also do some rapping, some DJing. I'm an on-air personality. I do it all. Songwriting, composition, that's all me. DC, currently, Florida-born, Maryland-raised. Military brat, so I'm from all over.
All right, and you got your own style, too. I was listening to music. I figured you was doing the producing thing, too, because a couple of tracks, like, I didn't hear any females on the track. So I'm like, she must have produced this track, whatever, you know what I mean? So that's what's up. We got back for the first time, you know what I mean? You've been here for DZ Radio when we was on Industry Crossover. You back for Plugged In. But we got my man Carmen Garner in the building.
Yes, sir. Carmen Garner, teacher, author, husband, father. Just trying to change the minds of the young youth with one page at a time, from that to this. Born and raised Springfield, Massachusetts. Teach in D.C., live in Maryland.
Okay. All right. See, I knew that she was in the D.C. area somewhere because I was thinking last night about something in D.C. and I'm like, he's all the way in D.C., but you live in Maryland though.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Cool. So we're gonna start with you and work our way back around. So yeah, you're an author. Your book is From That to This.
That to This.
Yeah. Let them know what it's about.
Well, it's a book about. I've been on since I was 11 years old. I lost my parents. My dad stepped out. My mom, she passed away of HIV/AIDS. My brother got life in prison. So pretty much I've been out here for about 28 years trying to, tell my story, to try to inspire young youth as a teacher and, as a mentor. That's what I've been doing, just traveling up and down the East Coast, community events, churches, speaking engagements. So I'm not a motivational speaker, but I do a lot of motivational speaking,
Right.
So that's what I do. We got a couple projects. Last time I came here, I was introduced to Bilal from Philadelphia, and we linked up real tight, and now we're working on a screenplay. So the story of Mr. Carmen Garner starring Carmen Garner, debut in Philadelphia.
All right. Yes, man. Yeah. How did you hook up with Bilal?
Through the big boss.
Marquita?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's an inspirational story. It's when you take Carmen Garner out of the story is pretty amazing. To have a kid who's been on his own since 11, lived in 17 different houses before he graduated high school. I stayed in crack houses. I saw my mom pass away, which was pretty tough. My dad, my brother, and my mother was in prison at the same time. You know what I'm saying? So, lived with convicted rapists, lived with murderers, and all kind of, So, my whole family got like 13 aunts and uncles. 9 of them there was into the street life. So, a lot of gang banging, a lot of shooting, a lot of drugs, and so I've seen a lot of real bad stuff. So, but I'm a testament that you can come out of it. Like I said, I'm a teacher, I'm a mentor, I'm a father, I'm a husband, homeowner.
So what got you out of that life? Like usually when you're around that type of environment, you kind of follow that same suit. What was your transition to get out of that and do something different?
It's easy when you see a crackhead, right? So a lot of my aunts and uncles were crackheads, or they shot heroin, or they did a lot of bad stuff. So when you get the chance to see it, you're not watching it on TV.
Right.
This ain't no,
It's first person.
Right. I'm in it. I'm full fledged in it. So I saw what it did. I had uncles who, wanted to kill themselves, crying at night. I'm young, and you hear your uncle, grown man, crying at night, all through night, every night. You see your mom begging crack from your friends. You know what I'm saying? You see your uncles robbing your brother. So that type of life was like, I don't want to do that. You see people get shot and murdered. If I do this, I'm going to get shot and murdered. Or if I do this, I'm going to go to jail. And being a boy going to jail, not cool. So, you know what I'm saying?
That's what's up, man. I definitely commend you, as I said before, I'm telling your story because a lot of people need to hear that. Just one, because a lot of people go through similar situations. Just to have somebody that been through it and actually did something different and took a different route, like it lets them know that, they can get out of that situation and not go down that same road. So, yeah, definitely commend you on that. You said you're working on the screenplay now too?
Yeah, well, it's kind of hard to celebrate the things that I have because a lot of people that I know, they're not there. You know what I'm saying? So it's when you get great news, it's like a catch-22. It's beautiful for me,
right?
But to try to convey that to someone else who's not in what we're doing right now, I already know that I strongly believe in God. I've never been a really religious person, but I know that God has put me on a path, and that path He's steadily sprinkling cool people and cool things my way. So in the past 2 weeks, I've been asked. Steve Jobs' wife is creating new high schools. It's called a super high school, and because high school's been the same for the past 100 years, that they want to change it to meet the modern day kid. So they're giving $50 million to build 5 schools, and I was selected in D.C. to be one of those people to put in a proposal to get that money to make that school. That's amazing. I mean, so I got to hold on to that a little bit. Then you got the screenplay, right? And then today we got this today. This is one of the 4. And then my brother's getting out from prison soon. He had his parole here. So that's amazing. He's been in for 18 years. So I already set up an interview with this she's not famous, but she's pretty famous photographer. And she does stories about people out of jail and prison incarceration, and try to help them out. So things have been going good.
So you and your brother are still good, on good terms and everything?
Oh yeah, I'm holding him down. So that's my brother. He's been down for 18 years, and the story between what she's going to work on is that when he got locked up is when the time my mom passed away, 18 years ago. So we made a promise to each other. Well, I made a promise to him that I wouldn't put a tombstone on her grave until he gets out. So he should be out hopefully in the next couple of weeks. That's what we're looking at, and we get to finally put the tombstone on my mom's grave. So
okay,
that's peace right there. So
All right. So where can people get the book at?
You can get the book anywhere, pretty much. Amazon, Barnes and Noble. If you look up Carmen Garner on Google, I've been doing a lot of cool things, so a lot of stuff is gonna pop up. But Amazon.com, BarnesandNoble.com, and MrCarmenGarner.com. That's my website. And I'm taking donations if you want to go to MrCarmenGarner.com. You can put in donations. What I'm doing, because my book is pretty expensive. It's a fully colored 82-page memoir. It's a strategy guide to help at-risk teens. So it's hard for the teens to get the book. So what I've been doing around the D.C. area is I'm collecting donations through my prints that are in the book. I sell them, and then what I would do is I'll put a book in the library of all the D.C. schools. So that's what I've been doing. So I'm taking donations, MrCarmenGarner.com. If you want to go on there and donate $5, $10, $15, it'll help the cause.
It's OnRae LaTeal. Did I say that right?
OnRae.
OnRae. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get to
Think of
those.
Andre without the D.
Okay. All right. I'm not gonna give away my government, but I definitely know Andre.
Okay.
But yeah. So let's know about your music and your production. When did you start getting into the music?
So I started playing the saxophone when I was, I think, in fourth grade. And I ended up going to a visual performing arts high school in Maryland, Suitland High School. Ended up learning the piano. It was our obligation and duty to learn how to play the piano outside of our primary instrument. So saxophone, piano, and there was, as far as the production is concerned, there was a young man that went to high school with me. His name is, today he calls himself Glenn Skywalker. And he was not in the visual performing arts program, but he was always in our space. And I'm extremely competitive. He'd come into our space, he'd always be playing all the Alicia Keys songs on the piano, just stunting. I'm like, I can do that. So I went home and learned all of the Diary of Alicia Keys, that whole entire album. Then he took another step up to the next level and was in our classroom one day and was using this very old music recording software. He's making his own beats. I can do that. And so that's how I got into it. Just me in my competitive spirit. And since then, producing more so on the radio side as a creative services producer. But I got a little tired of, making music for other people, just as vocal beds for their radio shows, and wanted to do my own thing, make actual song compositions. And so I started focusing more so on tracks and songs probably about 2-3 years ago. And I started out with my first EP as a producer entitled Libra Season. And then just recently in December, me and my hip hop collective Afrocentric, we released our first official album that I fully produced about 3 weeks ago.
Okay, so it's fresh.
Yeah,
fresh.
yeah.
Okay. That's the joint that's on SoundCloud?
No.
No? Okay.
It's not. It's on my Bandcamp. Or it's on
Bandcamp. That's what
Yeah.
All right. That's what's up. So what do you prefer more, production or being the artist?
I mean, I like being in the limelight, but I like the production aspect more. I think just being able to envision something in your head and then watching it become a reality,
right.
It's really a beautiful thing. But I don't know. I don't mind rapping as well. I like writing. I found that I could write probably about 2 years ago, and what happened was when I was working with my crew, I got a little tired of them not delivering the way that I would envision it in my mind. I'm like, let me try to write something real quick. All right, let me try to spit this real quick. I understand rhythm, understand beat and syncopation, and so I just put that together and started to spit my own stuff.
All right. So how would you describe your music? Like it's definitely a different sound. Is that like I haven't really listened to too much DC hip hop other than like the Wale type music, whatever. So what would you describe y'all type of music like?
I would say that our music is a combination of Robert Glasper, Mos Def, and there's a classical pianist. I'm going to try to pronounce his name, Ennio Morricone. I believe it's how you pronounce his name. But I combine those three artists, and I'll say that that's our sound.
Okay.
So Robert Glasper, I'm sure he's he's a jazz hip hop pianist.
Yeah, it's different. We definitely gonna get into some music and let the fans hear something different. I mean, turn off your FM stations, listen to something different than 30 songs that they play every hour. You know what I mean? But yeah, Miss Shari DuBois.
What's going on?
You know what I mean? The Empress.
Empress Shari DuBois, aka Shari Ferrari.
Yeah. How did you get that name?
What, the Empress?
All of that. Shari Ferrari, the Empress, like.
Well, my real name is Shamira. So you can imagine the first day of school was always a really tough day for me because none of my teachers could pronounce my name correctly.
Shamira,
Shamika. I'm not even gonna try this. So a lot of my friends call me Shar. So when I started rapping, I'm like, all right, I kind of want to keep that Shar thing going, but I thought that was too short. It wasn't flamboyant enough. It didn't have enough personality to me. So I just kind of adopted the Shari DuBois. The Empress kind of came about because I recognized that I carry myself differently when I'm conducting business. The Empress, which is one of my alter egos, is very classy and reserved, and she's very business savvy. My first project was called Love Overdose, it was called Hopelessly Romantic, a Love Story. And it basically told the story of two people when they meet each other. They're attracted to each other, they're courting each other, and they go through the journey in their relationship. At some point in your relationship, you're going to come to this fork in the road. You're going to have some sort of conflict or confrontation, and you have to decide, am I going to stay in this relationship or am I going to go? So my first project told that love story, and I started getting feedback from people. They say, yo, we love your music, we love your love songs, but every once in a while, we need you to kind of show your teeth a little bit, and we need you to talk that trash. So Ferrari just kind of came out of nowhere. It's my alter ego. It's kind of adopted to show you, back up a little bit. I really do this. I can give you a love song, or I can hop on a Lil Wayne or Drake beat and make it my own, and I can compete with the big balls.
Okay. And you say you're from Norristown originally, right?
I'm from Norristown. I'm in Ben Salem right now, but I'm from Norristown. Everybody thinks I'm from Philly. They always say, well, what part of Philly are you from? I'm not from Philly. I was born in Philly, but I was raised in Norristown, so that's where I'm repping.
Okay. Yeah, I've been to Norristown a couple of times, whatever. One of the promoters I work with, Steve Ferguson, I'm not sure if you're familiar with him, but he does a lot of youth programs in the summertime.
Okay.
And I had done stuff with him. Like, he has a summer concert series out in Elmwood Park.
Elmwood Park, yeah.
Yeah, so I've been out there like every August, or he does something right before the end of the school, or like the start of the school year.
Okay.
So, yeah, you should definitely hook up with him too, because he does a lot of events. And he has hip-hop artists, like, they do positivity, type music, whatever, you know what I mean? So, I got that type of music. Make sure everyone knows to check them out, whatever. But, we're going to get into some music, you know what I mean? You already know what one of my favorite joints is. I don't know if you want me to start with that, so I'm going to let y'all pick what joint.
Go for it. You said it's one of your favorite joints, so the people need to hear it. Go ahead and play it.
One of my favorite joints, and right now, it fits perfect, so I do need to play this joint because I feel like I need a drink. It's been a crazy morning, you know what I mean? But, yeah, so I'm trying to get out of that. But we're going to play I Need a Drink from Shari DuBois, and then is there a certain one that you want us to hear from you first? I got the By Design, I got Forever. And what's the other one?
Let them know.
Let them know.
Let them know. So that's the track that I spit on. So I'll play that one. Yeah.
All right, so we're going to get into this music real quick. We'll be right back. They're still in the building. You know what I mean? Stick around.
I don't got a song. Everybody got a song except for me.
Not you, but the audio, but you gotta get the audio, like,
with the top pulling off the light.
oh, you
Like,
can
No shit coming out. But your mom ain't never gonna stop. Bitch, your mom ain't never gonna stop.
Nah. It's what it is like his show starts at 10. But the owner, you don't got keys, so you can't hear like 9:45 or whatever. The owner, hey, I got a key. So it's like you text me like 9:30, like, I'm like, I don't got no keys. So he was mad. Like I'm not really mad at the owner. I'm a little bit mad at him. He was like, yo, I don't care. I'm going over to see it out. Here's the way he did it, whatever. So that puts my show back. The person that's at the line, I don't want to tell her to do that. Everybody show back. And I don't cut into the house. So that was the whole situation with that. So it was just like a lack of communication. I think the owner should have handled that. Like, he should have been talking to him. Because I'm sitting here talking to him. What's time to end yourself on the internet? It's all pretty popular. Exactly. When I text her, she's like, I'm just doing person. I'm like, well, he's texting me, he's going over. She's like, no, we don't do that. I'm like, well, y'all need to talk, because I'm getting one thing, and I'm just like, it's just miscommunication. So I'm kind of mad at him. And more mad at the owner, because he should have handled that situation. But then he just feels like he kind of went over a little bit in his time, like he's still doing his stuff. And I'm like, bro, you already on my time, like over Argentina, like.
That story is crazy.
you just curse. I heard you cursing on there, man.
Yeah, no, it's just cursing, you know.
I got my whole brother's album on SoundCloud.
Hey, what's the website for all of these?
Yeah, smoke it out. Smoke it out.
What's the festival?
Like, you need to get to the report.
I didn't realize you could see.
Does it automatically do that? I was
I don't know them. It's like one that did, they used like Brown, which is like 16 or something like that. Yeah, that's it.
That's probably like my vision getting blurred, my speech getting slurred. I used to give up, now I'm fucking curb, and that shit just occurred. Right now I feel superb. They say Shari, maybe you gone. I say yeah till November, girl. My vision getting blurred, my speech getting slurred. I used to give up, now I'm fucking hurt, and that shit just occurred. Right now I feel superb. They say Shari, maybe you gone. I say yeah till November, girl.
Please know how you keep on it now.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I was working on my project Love Overdose, and I had maybe, hopelessly romantic, my love album, and I played like 5 or 6 tracks for a couple of my girls, and they were all like, oh, this is cool. So I had one of my friends come to the studio with me, and she was like, your songs are nice, but I don't want to hear love songs every day. She said, I need something with some confidence energy. She's like, you're trying to capture the whole city of Philadelphia. Everybody doesn't come from the nice small town that you come from. You got to give people something to listen to, and they're really love. This was the next song that I did. So,
this was my joint. When you first formed this, I was like, I need this, yo.
I was very much in my like Drake weekend softer sounds in the beginning of my project, and then I got the feedback. So. I don't know if it's here.
Trying to make a little change. Preacher ain't coming around talking. I don't want to hear you up.
Yeah.
You heard one?
Yeah, I heard it.
Mama said that you don't trouble till you down and right. You better thank him for his blessings each and every day. My brother said don't sweat your enemy. Your enemy keep you pumping. I love my enemies. My lady taught me how to sun up with a fashion set. She prefers my kisses and hugs, but it's my arrogance. My arrogance from my daddy, yes, it's hereditary.
In case y'all, you know what I mean? Some people be like, oh, I know we on camera. And they be talking behind the scenes like while the music going on, saying that they ain't want people to know.
I call it confidence. Irritating without a confidence. Hold the couple, buddy. She ain't hit to all the rhetoric. And her solution, and so the cool love. Attracted me as a girl who wrote this track of love. Keep the credentials, my nigga. I had to let him know. Keep the credentials, my nigga. I had to let him know. Keep the credentials, my nigga. I had to let him know. Keep the credentials, my nigga. I had to let him know. Keep the credentials, my nigga. I had to let him know.
I ain't never seen it. Not until you start cursing.
Right. Have you done any acting?
Yo,
Hold around, my friend.
here goes the blunt in the last MC. You talk a good game, but you don't impress me. Running your mouth like a patriarchy. Talk to your waist before I got on me. Looking for a reason to get next.
gotta talk about that too, man.
Straight to the door. You wanna tag along? I call him a left that had to send his ass home. Yeah, I had to send his ass home. Looking for the rock when I rock the mic. So percolate off cause it's on tonight. The pussy to wipe me down cause I'm tricky, fresh like that. I'm tricky, tracks like that. I'm pretty back to be underestimated. The player can take the one. Don't leave your hate around me. You a trigger for real. I'm the realest for real. Yeah. Don't leave your hate around me. True player for real. I'm the realest for real.
You only walk up there with no chains on.
Potentials, my nigga, I had to let them know. Pick up potentials, my nigga, I had to let them know.
Wow. All right. So yeah, we just heard some music from Shari DuBois and OnRae, right? I was like, all right, OnRae. All right. So yeah. So one. The I Need a Drink, we was talking behind the scenes, but you know they didn't get to hear it. So where did that whole concept come from? Because it sounded like, I think one of the reasons is not just like a catchy song, but the stuff you was talking about in the song, like I can relate to, like, you know, going through stuff at work, doing stuff with your relationship. Like I was like, I can feel that. Like those are all situations you would need to drink. You know what I mean? Like,
Definitely.
So what was it like? Did you write that going through real stuff, or you was like, you know, I'm gonna put situations in here where people would need a drink? Like, was that your concept for that?
That was actually like a real story. I was telling them when we were off the air that I was working on this Love album, and I had played some tracks for a couple of my girls. And for the most part, they loved it. They're like, okay, this is cool. And then one day, I bring one of my homegirls to the studio with me, and she's like, these songs are cool, but you're trying to capture the whole city of Philadelphia. Everybody doesn't want to hear love songs all the time. She said, I need something that I can turn up to when I'm on my way to the club. I need something that I can kind of bump. Give me something with some bass in it, with some oomph. And actually, when she said it, I was offended and I was upset about it. But after a while, it kind of sunk in, and I understood exactly where she was coming from. You know, in order for people to fall in love with what I'm doing, I might have to give them what they want, get them to become fans, and then I can kind of push my own agenda, you know, afterwards. So I Need a Drink ended up being the next song that I wrote. So everything that I talked about in there was very real.
So I think you said you got a ticket or your car got sold or something in there too,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Like it just seems like, that's why I was asking if it was real, because like it seemed like you went through a whole bunch of stuff. Like was that a day or was it like a week span or a month span that you, and then you just sat and wrote, you know, everything that happened in a month, or what was the time frame?
Getting a parking, the speeding ticket, and getting told that really did happen all in the same day. I was doing a cipher in front of Black and Nobel on St. Patrick's Day, like a year or two ago. And I didn't plan on being there very long. I was going to come and do my part and be out. And apparently where I parked, I wasn't supposed to park, because that's where SEPTA, you know, picks up their passengers and drops them off. So I'm coming around the corner, and the lady's putting the ticket on my car. So I think it was like a $60 ticket. It's like, all right, you know what? Water under the bridge. I'm not going to sweat it. I'm going to keep moving. I get on the turnpike. I'm on my way to Harrisburg to meet up with my same homegirls. And a trooper clocks me doing 85 and a 55. He didn't give me any points, but he gave me like a $138 ticket. It's like, okay. So I'm on my way there, on my way to Harrisburg. One of my girls lives in an apartment building. She says, park anywhere, make it work. So I literally parked anywhere, thinking I can park on the sidewalk. I see other people doing it. It'll be fine. We go out, we come back 2 o'clock in the morning, and my car's not there. They towed it. So that was literally something that happened. So I Need a Drink kind of came out of this place like everything that could have went wrong, and you finally make it to the weekend, or you make it to your Friday, and you're like, you know what, I need the stress of the week to just be off of my back. Let's go to a restaurant, let's go to the bar, let's let our hair down.
Yeah, that's a crazy, that's a crazy day. Like, yeah. Did you actually have a drink that day?
Oh, definitely. There's no other option.
That's crazy. All right, so your song, we just played Let 'Em Know. I mean, what was your concept for that?
I didn't let them niggas know.
It's so crazy to hear you talk. Like, when you look at her, y'all, I mean, y'all had to see you catch this on a YouTube channel or whatever.
Right.
But y'all, I mean, she comes in here like like a poetry. I mean, I'm trying to like Vivian Banks kind of. I'm getting that type of feel. Like, you know what I mean? And she's like, even the way you ended the song, like, nigga. I'm like, what? I wasn't expecting that though. You know what I mean? So yeah. So you had to let them niggas know. So
no, you know what? I have several different styles. That is actually completely different than anything I've ever made. But I was feeling very arrogant at the time, and that song evolved because I started out with this beat, and it was a bit lighter. Well, it was way lighter. It wasn't trap at all. I try to steer away from trap, but I teach at a social services center called Latin American Youth Center. I teach radio and music production, and one of the young men in my class was making this trap beat. And the thing I like about trap music is how it'll start out with something mellow and then the beat drops and you're like, hey, you know? And so I'm like, like I'm being arrogant right now, it gotta be something to get you hyped in your car. And so I'm like, okay, let me write this real quick, let me figure out what I'm about to do. And so my whole feeling behind this song was just me as a producer, as a female producer, as a black female producer, I'm constantly and no shade against you, DJ. But the question is always, oh, did you produce that song? Oh, did you produce that? Oh, did you write that? You know, it's never assumed that I made it. And I think it's just because of the fact that female producers are not out there. You know, I mean, I haven't met one. I haven't met another one that's really, really out there doing her thing. And so I had to let people know, like, yeah, I made this joint. Yeah, I wrote this joint.
That's crazy that you brought that up. That actually transitions into the what I want to talk to y'all about. Because I was going to say, like, I mean, yeah, there are a lot of MCs in the game, but it's definitely a male-dominated game. So and that's something you just put me on to. Like, yeah, I haven't even thought about like female producers. Like, even industry-wise right now, like I'm sure there are some, but I can't think of any off the top right now. Like, who's big?
Right.
Anybody that I think of that's
like mainstream?
Yeah, I mean, there are producers like Missy. She produces, you know what I mean?
Right.
But when you think of like on that, like you think of a Just Blaze or a Timberland or something, like I can't really think of somebody that's like just a producer. Like there's people that probably produce their tracks or do certain projects, but as a strictly female producer,
right. And you know what? Let me take that back. So they're out there. I just think they're not given the limelight like males are. It's hard to find.
It's hard. So how do y'all move in that lane, being artists and producers, whatever, being a female in this game? Like, is it difficult for y'all, you feel, at times, or like is it a little bit easier? Because there are, like, I think with the male rappers, like, it's too many of them. You know what I mean? So do y'all find it easier because there's not too many, or too many? There might be a lot of them out there, but they're not getting that shine. So does that make it easier for y'all? Or y'all find it's tougher because y'all got to kind of compete with the male dominance?
I think it's a combination of a couple things. You kind of get the spotlight put on you as a female artist because people want to see, like, what are you going to do? Where are you coming from? Are you going to have some bubblegum rap? Is it going to be hypersexualized? Where are you coming from? So people are definitely going to tune into what a female artist is doing. But it is difficult for a woman to dominate a male-dominated industry. It's hard to kind of navigate those waters because there's a lot of guys out there that want to waste your time as a female artist. And you might experience this as a producer. People might want to hit you up and say, oh, I want to work with you. And then you get to the studio and it's really a basement and the lights are dim and there's candles and you're setting up for a Netflix and chill type of situation. It's like, I didn't come here for that. You know what I mean?
Studio and chill.
And it's like, for me, there's just certain things that I'm not willing to do to advance in my career. Right. When I describe my personality, I use a line that Aaliyah used in one of her songs: jazz personality, G mentality. I feel like I'm one of the most laid back, coolest women that you're ever going to meet. But I'm also a strong woman, and if you're a weaker man, you're not gonna know where I'm coming from. So we're gonna bump heads, we're gonna clash, and you gotta understand that as a woman, in this industry, there's gonna be a lot of guys who want to waste your time, who want you to use your body and what you can offer them to get further in your career. I'm not doing that. I'm not going to make myself smaller or restrict myself to make you feel like a king. You may be a king, but you're not my king. I'm not going to, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not stroking your ego. We can sit down and match minds and we can work. And if you respect my grind and how I'm carrying myself and what I'm about, we're not going to have any problems. But if you have another agenda, if you're trying to do something else, that's where we're going to clash a bit.
How you feel about that?
I think it's difficult just being respected. I was out and I had met this young brother, and I'm not gonna name any names or anything, but he saw me and he was like, wow, you look like an artist. you look like you're really serious about your work. I'm like, oh, okay. And he's like, yeah, what's your name? Like, my name is OnRae LaTeal. I'm a hip hop producer. He was like, oh, okay. I really want to work with you. Just, you look really serious. I think I'm really gonna love your work. And gave me his card and was like, let's link up, let's talk or whatever. But it was as if I felt as if he was going off of my physical appearance and was just assuming like, oh yeah, she's like that. She's like
because of how
right, because of how I look.
Right.
I'm like, you don't even know what I'm about. I could be making music like 666, demonic stuff, like you don't even know. But you're just going off of my physical appearance, and I think that's really not for all men, not for all brothers, but for a lot of them out there, that's the first thing they're looking for. They see you, you look good. It's like, oh yeah, you dope. You don't even know me.
Well, I think that's, and I'm glad we got Carmen here for this too. I mean, not to kind of stray off of the issue, but I think it goes to the same thing as far as dating or whatever. If you don't know somebody, it depends on the type of environment that you're in. If you meet somebody, whether you're at a bar, supermarket, whatever, the first thing you have to go off of is attraction, because you're not going to actually get to know that person, whatever. Like, so the first thing that's gonna attract you is physical appearance, whatever. Yeah. So sometimes I'm not saying that that's the best way to do it, but I'm just kind of defending that situation. Like, that's all you have to go. So if I came out and we was an artist, I never heard your music, I probably would want to like, you look like you're, I want to find out what you're about just because of your style. Like, you look like, you an artist or, music, something like, so I wouldn't be offended by that.
Right. But you know what? I guess for me, it was almost like a definite we're working together. And I'm like, well, wait a second. Let me see what you all about. I mean, I have my own standards and I have my own values. There's certain people that I'll work with and there's certain people that I won't. There's certain things that I'll make music about and there's certain things that I won't. I have no idea what you're about. I'm not about to be sitting here talking about, I'm going to leave that out. But I'm not going to be talking about penis, pussy, titty. Like, that's not what I'm about. If that's what you're about, that's cool, but let's talk first. Don't assume that we working together. Yeah, right now. Just because you look good. Okay, yeah, I look good, but brother, what about, does your music sound good? Like, are you about your stuff? I mean, because, like you were saying earlier, like, they bring you into their house and you coming downstairs, you think you come into a studio and it's got candles set up and stuff. Like, what? Are you about your work? Are you about your stuff? A lot of people talk about it, talk, it ain't really about nothing.
And they want to waste your time.
I can say that never happened to me. That's often.
It was like, y'all want to write a book with you? Come to the crib.
No females have ever said, hey, I wish not say that. I'm married, but yeah. But I don't know. It's you guys are very attractive young women, so it's like it's kind of like when you meet you, like you're distinct, sharp.
Yes.
I'm not good at names, but I got that one. So you're not, when you meet you, like you're distinct. It's like, all right, there's something about you that draws. Like when I first saw, I was like, okay, and you hear your voice, it's like, yeah, okay. Like I'm not coming at you like that, but there's that distinct. Okay, you sound different from another female. It's like, all right, you got that about you, and then you got a different look, and then we hear what you sound like on the. She come hard, like skinny, petite, with the hat on, NDRE look, innocent. Then fuck you, nigga. Like what? So when a person does hear y'all, they would take y'all serious. So they gotta hear your music first. Come past that and then hear it. You guys are good. So
thank you. I appreciate it.
But I still want that people to do that to me though. It'll make me feel as a man. I normally get like older women, right? And they're like, they'll hook me up with someone else, like networking type of deal. But they never say, let's go and meet at this hotel. Bring your manuscript in,
It's coming. It's coming. It's on its way.
Give me a little groupie, I just want to brag about it. I don't have to do anything.
It's flattering.
Yeah, very flattering. Ego stroking, I like,
Crazy. Well, I'm sure that's definitely gonna come with the screenplay. You know what I mean?
Man, I'm not nervous yet. Because I got one of those. I think I have a outgoing personality. And I'm gonna tie back into it because like as a child, I didn't have a childhood, right? So as an adult, some people call me immature or kind of crazy. I do a lot of crazy stuff. So to do this is totally different. So I know I can do it, but I'm super nervous about it. I thought it was gonna be more like a Tyler Perry. I told all my boys, I was like, who gonna play you on stage? Who gonna play Fat Cece? You know, your mom, you know, who gonna do that? And then when he asked me, he's like, or when he told me, he's like, we're not gonna do the Tyler Perry type of deal. We're gonna put you on stage and give you about an hour and 15 minutes to work out the screenplay. And like I said, I did spit my drink out because this is something different, but it's a challenge. Right. That's part of the mission.
That's what I was gonna say too. Like if you playing yourself, like I think sometimes it's hard to kind of act as yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So yeah, we gotta see how that turns out. We definitely gonna support that. You know what I mean? So.
But see, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Like I don't know what you got. When you have an interview, like for my first couple of interviews, you know, people are like, why do you get nervous? You're talking about you, and you're doing something about you. But believe it or not, that's, to me, it's harder to talk about me than to talk about something else. You know what I mean? So when I get into it, you know, now at this point, I'm pretty good at it. But I froze up my first interview radio. The guy was like, so where are you from? And I'm like, you know what I mean? Like, so it's a challenge, but we gotta persevere through it. So,
right. Yeah. All right. Are you actually judging tomorrow?
Not tomorrow. DJ Butta-fingaz is talking about the Royal
Rumble. Yeah, I'm gonna still do the events for the week too, whatever. We actually got an event going on tonight and we got one tomorrow. We actually might as well get into that right now. Tonight we actually got the Double H Spady showcase going on, the Hustle from the Muscle. I don't know about that. Yeah, we got the Hustle from the Muscle showcase going on tonight at Club Blue, 4235 Germantown Ave, Philadelphia, PA. If you want to get information on that, follow Double H Spady on IG for tics, or you can go to phillybeautyandthebshow.com. That's Philly Beauty, the letter N, thebshow.com. And then tomorrow, the event that we were just talking about is the Royal Rumble competition. The first one of 2016. It's at His and Hers Lounge, where I was at last night. I mean, matter of fact, shout out to His and Hers Lounge. I mean, definitely a nice look out there, open at 4 a.m. I mean, make sure y'all come out there. I will be there next Friday as well. I mean, but the Royal Rumble competition goes down there tomorrow. His and Hers Lounge, 216 South Street, Philadelphia, PA. $200 to the first place winner, $100 to the second place winner, $15 if you want to enter the competition, $10 if you just want to come and enjoy the talent that's going to be going on, whatever. Y'all can also follow Beauty and the Beast Show on Instagram for that. But you said you're not judging tomorrow, right?
I'm not judging tomorrow's Royal Rumble competition. I judged a couple weeks ago. I'm actually judging the Beauty and the Beast Show, Philly Lift Your Voice.
Yeah, talk about that too.
Shout out to the CEO of Beauty and the Beast, Mr. Arik. He's really doing this thing. He's staying busy, and I like that his movement is positive. He's really trying to do things to uplift artists and uplift the city. He has something that he's come up with called Philly Lift Your Voice, and it's a singing competition. We had auditions last Saturday, and we're going to have more auditions for singers in the area on Saturday the 23rd at 1207 Chestnut Street in Philly. Come on down to the Urban Affairs Coalition Room, and you can audition. Basically, it's kind of modeled after modeled off of like American Idol a little bit. You come and you audition, and if you advance, you get the opportunity to showcase your music, and then the winner wins $1,000. So Arik has a lot of different events happening in the city. Tomorrow, Royal Rumble, like you mentioned, but Saturday the 23rd, there's auditions for Philly Lift Your Voice, which I will be judging.
Okay, all right. And then supposedly I just got word from Arik as well. You might be doing a Royal Rumble competition every Sunday instead of every other. You know what I mean? So we've been working. We've definitely been working, man. Shout out to, like I said, His and Hers, man. I'll definitely be building a relationship with the owner. He's real cool. So make sure y'all stop by there, South Street, 216 South Street. 7 days a week, they're open till 4 a.m. in the morning. Hookah lounge, pool tables, cigar bar, drink specials, everything you want in the lounge. Like, you know what I mean? I don't know any other lounges on South Street that really got it popping like that. Like, Fat Tuesdays was popping last night, but I don't understand the whole appeal of Fat Tuesdays. Like, their drinks they're all right, but if I'm gonna pay $10 to get into Fat Tuesdays where I'm just gonna sit and listen to people drink, there's no DJ.
Right.
Why wouldn't I go somewhere else where I can get hookah, pool tables, drink the same drinks?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And pay $10 for that, all that. So, yeah, I'm plugging it in because I'm DJing here too. But yeah.
I saw your pictures on the gram last night. It looked like you had a pretty good time.
I had a good time.
Going out, hookah smoke out.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not really a hookah smoker like that, but I was in the environment, so.
Okay,
yeah,
you decided to partake for the evening.
Exactly. We're going to get back into some more music real quick. All right, so I'm going to let y'all pick this time. We got Two Crown and we got Sorry from Shari DuBois, and then we got By Designer Forever.
You can go ahead and play Two Crown.
Two Crown.
I'm gonna say By Design, just cause y'all got me feeling all bad. Let's talk about the whole India Ivory Mother. So I'll give you that side of me as well. This is something that I produced though.
Okay.
I think we should have a freestyle battle.
No battling. This is a freestyle session.
I go first.
I don't know where Raheem and I might have. Oh, you can freestyle?
Challenge, you know.
I mean, we can do that after these shows if you're serious.
Well, I'm not serious, but but we can do it though.
Hey.
You know? All right, from the top.
Make sure y'all stay plugged in, man. We might come back. We're gonna get some bars in. We're gonna get some Carmen Garner to spit something. From that to this, it's like nah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we go. Yeah, let's get into this track. We're gonna play By Design first, and then we're gonna get into Two Crown. Let's go. Usually I got people here to take pictures. Like it's just been a crazy Saturday, man.
Me crazy when I left you.
I got a little gangster with a little diesel there. It's some hard.
You patiently took the time.
I get y'all do like individual pieces in front of the drum. Drop back up.
They first.
Made beautiful by design.
You say you produce this one too, right?
Yeah.
I like this beat.
Thank you. I do too.
That's me singing. He's fine.
Right. Let me get one more pose.
Okay.
I know I won't be afraid.
Hey.
I'll feel you come through as we can mature as one, just to be loved.
Can we break a sign this time?
Nah, look, I left my whole backpack, everything was at the house.
You're pretty
Beautiful by design.
Alright, let me get one of all y'all real quick.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Both of you guys are pretty tall.
Oh, no, it's okay.
Alright, I need everybody to take one step, small step to the left. Alright, actually, a little bit to the right. Just real small, right there, right there, right there. Still. Alright, hold on a little
I'm like, my friends got me celebrity, man. You know,
Oh, yeah.
we don't do on radio shows.
Are you going to submit your stuff to Tyler? Steve Harvey? I know he has like segments on his shows where he recognizes the
That's hard. This
Are you matter of fact, can I submit your album? Yeah, give me a wait. We got a minute.
it's like patient getting patient.
hands out.
Right. I'm sure they got like piles of authors and
Look at that.
the queens in the middle. You don't want to be in the middle.
Alright, I'm just gonna rapid fire. Alright, ready for another one? Damn. Marquita calling you right now.
Since he's calling me?
Yeah. Alright, cool. I got my phone too. I'll take some if y'all want to take some more.
Oh, we'll do that. I did. Nah, I didn't text her. You said you did or I did?
Some like.
No, I didn't text Kayla at all. Did you text Kayla?
Oh, no.
Nah, I didn't text Kayla at all.
Might have been him.
Did she say my baby?
She got a producer come down with the song on the camera.
I think you're what works for you, because I think people are expecting you to be a certain way, and when you say, it's like, okay.
It wasn't me. I didn't
Nah,
text
I didn't
anybody.
text you. I don't have a number.
Alright. Somebody texted her and told her she was gonna. I mean, that wasn't good, so I gave my time in, but nah, definitely wasn't me. I didn't text her at all.
He ain't gonna say that. Because he said he was gonna push his back. He probably texted her telling him to push his back to her.
Oh, you know.
That's probably what he was saying. He was just trying, you know what I mean? Nigga, it ain't work. You know, that was crazy, bro. Standing out in the cold this morning. That was crazy.
And you said she just came in and then left like that.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I'm saying, man.
and Elder Joan, the same thing that been going on with Raheem's show. It went to all. It happened to your show.
Was all no DJ on?
After your show, it must have like went on to all the DJs. Like,
Cause you know I didn't touch it.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. I thought she was doing that for Raheem's show. I think he's doing that on his own now. You know, you gotta make sure you check all the DJs off like when you start the show.
Oh, alright. How long was it on for?
Alright, like the first 10 minutes or so.
Oh, okay, because I heard Usher, and I was like, you got Usher set on.
Nah, I kept trying to figure out. I was listening to here and I kept hearing different music, but yeah.
Hey, yo, you were texting me? All your texts just came through at once. I had people texting me the show, like, what's the number to call and everything. I gotta get a new phone, bro.
Call the number real quick. I think the phone is off too. Like, this day been crazy, man. Somebody hit me up from Wisconsin.
Yeah, man, I miss all that shit. Phone it up.
Yeah, I think somebody keep listening.
Yeah, the phone up.
Yeah, the ring is call it in.
It's ringing. Now it's ringing. That nobody can call in. I got callers.
Who got the Friday shows?
I don't know. Decent.
No, decent shows on Thursday.
Who's Friday? Somebody's Friday, dog. Yo, it's like the DJ Saturday's communication up to the bar.
Yeah, matter of fact, that's why I'm mad at you too. Stop telling people about that Pac shit. Yeah. I was trying to call and blast you when you was saying like, yo, why you keep telling me?
Hey man, but you know I wasn't really gonna have you come in here and answer to that. Like, you know what I'm saying?
You trying to set me up, man.
Yeah, but I'm definitely coming to Beauty and Beast tomorrow. That's what it is.
Somebody called at 11:32.
That's it.
I'll call it so 31. Somebody called at 117.
Phone off. You know what I'm saying? My folder was all crazy too, man. Yo, Drake, my folder was all crazy again. That's why I was trying to organize what I was going to play and trying to get the artist songs up, but I had a lot of his stuff and somebody else's stuff in there.
I don't think it's them doing it intentionally. I think, I was telling you before, when I had one on my folder, when I put it in, I wouldn't see nothing come in here, but somehow it's still going in another folder. This whole, she got to fix this whole joint, like, get somebody to fix it. I mean, a lot of stuff going on with it.
Yeah.
We got about 10 seconds. So I'm going to my question of the day. We got about 15 minutes depending on the class for King.
True.
Alright, we are back. That was more music from OnRae. I said it right this time, right? OnRae. It's not OnRae? OnRae.
My homie for a second.
You said it's like Andre without the D. That's not right. OnRae LaTeal.
Yeah.
Okay, see, we need to feel good. I'm just trying, man. I had a bad day. I need a drink. Cause I'm too proud. But, listen, I gotta let these niggas know. I gotta let them know.
Right.
Damn, I try to blow everybody's line, but anyway, listen. So we got more music from y'all. We're gonna get into our topic of the day. There was actually a lady or a student. I think she was in Houston, and she basically was trying to sue one of the top schools because of affirmative action. She believes that she didn't get accepted because of the affirmative action thing, and you know, she was basically saying like her grades weren't like great. I mean, she was like right under the top 10% of her class, but she believes that she was overlooked because, you know, they basically applied the affirmative action type thing, whatever. So how do y'all feel about that? Affirmative action, is it something that's working for us? Are we against it? What is y'all saying?
What was her ethnicity?
It was a white girl.
Okay, so she said I didn't. What?
She feels that basically, I'm gonna look it up. I mean, when y'all talk, whatever. I'm a little bit discombobulated right now, but yeah, she basically feels that she didn't get accepted because her position was given to a minority because they had to fill in a certain quota of minorities, whatever. So she appealed the thing like 2 or 3 times, whatever. She still lost a couple times, but now supposedly I think she took it like Supreme Court or something. They're actually thinking about appealing that or removing that policy, whatever, for affirmative action. So I have my views on it, whatever. I'm gonna research it while y'all give y'all things, whatever. But how do y'all feel about affirmative action, period, and especially in that situation? Is it something you think that's good or you think that is bad?
That rabbit? All right. So, I mean, any situation you can get to better yourself and connect the chain to pull people up is a good thing. So, I mean, it could be a double-edged sword. But if I'm a black man and I got this job because I'm black, I'm not gonna take it as a slap in the face because I'm opening up a door for the brother behind me. So you can look at it like that. You can argue both sides of it. But anytime you can get in a place where you never could before that you can help other people, that's a good thing to me.
Okay. I'm gonna hold on to my opinion back.
I think I agree with you, Carmen, but the fact that stipulation even has to exist is an issue. The fact that we have to even have affirmative action for me to get access to somewhere where I normally wouldn't, that shouldn't even be a discussion. I shouldn't have to gain access to somewhere where I normally wouldn't have access to. I should automatically have access based on my credentials, based on my experience. It shouldn't be oh well, you're black. Okay, you get in because we need 5 black women in this joint. We got to meet our quota. No, bring me in because I got the background, I got the experience, I got the credentials. Not just because I'm black. I mean, I appreciate it. But I just think that stipulation shouldn't even be in existence.
I agree with that too. Before you get your opinion, I want to read a little quote for it. So it says in 2008, Abigail Fisher, who is white, sued the University of Texas at Austin for race discrimination. The school rejected her and she blamed its affirmative action program, which considers race and ethnicity and a holistic review of certain candidates. There were people in my class with lower grades who weren't in all the activities I was in who were being accepted into UT, and the only other difference between us was color of our skin. So, yeah, Shari, what do you think about that?
One of the interesting things about affirmative action is that it wasn't brought about to better black people. It actually came about to help white women who wanted to break into the workforce. White men were getting all of these jobs. They were getting, I think they get 70 cents more on the dollar higher than women get because the idea is that this man is going to take care of the rest of his family. He's going to take care of his wife and children. So affirmative action came about to help white women. They were the ones who benefited from it first. So now you're talking about 30, 40 years later, she wants to blame black students or blame affirmative action for the reason why she didn't get into that college or university. I don't understand that. From what I heard about from this case a couple of weeks ago was that she was just an average student. I don't think she was
like top class or nothing.
She was like subpar average. So you're blaming people of color who got accepted into the university that she wanted to be accepted into. I don't who probably had the merit and have proven that they could be successful at this university. Like, I don't understand that.
Right.
Wait, who her? I'm not even focused on her. You know what I'm saying? We're dealing with America, right? We're dealing with that we're a small percentage of people on this little continent over here, and I think any opportunity that we can get to get through that big huge steel door that they won't open up for us. So if there's a couple of us under that door, then it's up to the people that swept under there. It's their responsibility. Like I said, put that chain out there or that rope to pull everybody through. So we're not going to dominate anytime soon. So I'm not going to, if they say, all right, Mr. Garner, you're the one black guy that we're going to let through be an author. Well, I'm coming, but at the same time, it's my responsibility to bring everybody through.
I think, like you said, it's kind of a catch-22 because at the end of the day, it can help people, by giving them an opportunity. But at the same time, I think it can backfire because it might make people lazy, thinking like I'm just going to be accepted into certain programs or schools, whatever, just because I'm a minority. Some people might have that mindset. It depends on how you look at it. Like if I know I'm in a school that's predominantly white, and I know that I'm one of the few minorities in there, I might look like I don't really got to do nothing because in this town I'm in, like might be Houston, I don't really have to do as much because they're probably going to set me just based off of my minority, whatever. I'm sure there are certain people that are thinking that way, so I think it could be a backfire. I don't know if it's definitely a good thing as well.
White people, they use it too. I knew a white girl that had a minority scholarship into an HBCU. I forget where. But they use the same thing. We can't never have that. They got to come here and set it up.
And affirmative action doesn't mean that just because you're black, these doors are going to be open for you, or you're just going to get this job or get this opportunity to attend this university. Affirmative action just means that you're going to be considered. Before the Princetons and the Harvards and the Yale, they weren't even considering black people. We were applying. They said, we don't want you at our school. Affirmative action just opened up the door for us to, let me send in my resume, let me send in my credits or my credentials, or let me tell you who I am as a student, and you're going to look at it opposed to overlooking it. So Abby Fisher, you lost. Like, you applied, they didn't want you, move on. I don't see the point of that. Let it go.
I'm a minority in the teacher area. You know what I mean? I'm a black male teacher, and for any inner city, I'm gold. I can go anywhere in any inner city in any state in this country and get a job immediately. So I try to put the flip on it. So I don't look at it as maybe I'm being lazy, but I look at it as like a cocky thing. Like if I get a principal to say, hey, Mr. Garner, we don't want your services, like, hey, look, there's 1,000 other schools who do. You know what I mean? So I'm gold in the inner city. So I'll never be without a job because I'm that minority. You know, so I look at it as like I can be cocky. You know, I can be confident in my role. You need me here. You know. So
all right. So we're gonna wrap up the show real quick. You know what I mean? Before we get out of here, we wanna let everybody know, where they can reach all that, where they can find your music, your Instagram, all that stuff. So Shari, we'll start with you.
Again, I am the Empress Shari DuBois. Really quickly, I need to shout out a couple people. Shout out to my homegirl Ab, who's tuning in right now. She's texting me, talking all this crazy stuff. Shout out to Abby. Shout out to G Dot from New York, holding it down, royalty. But again, I am the Empress Shari DuBois. You can find me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram at Shari DuBois, ShariDubois. Get with me on SoundCloud. I'm dropping new music like every couple of weeks. I have a series called Shari Ferrari Can Body Any Beat, so just make sure you're tuning into that and you're staying connected with me.
Also catch you at the Philly Lift Your Voice
competition,
the 23rd, right?
The 23rd, we're having more auditions for the Philly Lift Your Voice competition.
All right, and OnRae
LaTeal, always bring you the real deal. You can catch me on my Bandcamp, OnRaeLaTeal.bandcamp.com, or my SoundCloud is actually my first and my real last name, OnRae Watkins. But you can also check out my crew, Afrocentric, our new album. It was just released December 17th, so it's fresh off the market, y'all. It's called Libra Season Afrocentrism. If you into taking some good bubble baths, you into protesting, love ballads, you need to let these niggas know. We got it all. Jazz, R&B, soul, all in our album. Afrocentric.bandcamp.com. You can also find me on Insta and Twitter at OnRae LaTeal, OnRae LaTeal, LaTeal.
All right, so while you're out here, because you said you're from DC, are you doing anything out here? Are you just visiting family, or like are you actually doing any shows?
There was actually this there was a conference going on today at Temple University, a Black radical organizing collective. I'm not here with my partner. She's all into advocacy work, so I came out here with her. Just so happened to be in the area, so I wanted to come through. But also we have my crew. We're going to be performing at the first annual MLK Peace Walk on the 17th of January. So come out to DC, come walk for peace.
Mr. Carmen Garner.
Since I'll be in DC, I'll come to that. Carmen Garner, Mr. Carmen, CARMEN, Garner, GARNER.com, MrCarmenGarner.com. From that to this on Instagram, that to this on Twitter, Carmen Garner on Facebook, and AKA Bundy Art, that's my alias. So, shout out to my students. What? I didn't forget about the freestyle battle.
Hey, we gonna have to come back to that
session. I want to battle the ladies.
Now he know we ain't got no time. He want to try to bring it up again.
He's like, there's 2 minutes left. Let's do this battle.
Yeah, right. Exactly. All right, so Yeah, we got back from vacation. Miss Kayla Marie is back in the building. Industry Sessions is back. Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna talk to them. See if still in the building, whatever. I mean, I will be off the air next week. I will be in the Poconos, whatever. So I'm gonna talk to them and see which one want to take. Split this time or whatever. So y'all might get a actual different show next week, whatever. But yeah, thank y'all for plugging in. You know what I mean? I know we had a little technical difficulties this morning. You know what I mean? So shout out to everything that went on this morning, but we went through it. I definitely appreciate my guests for coming through and working, you know what I mean, and being patient with me and everything that went on. But yeah, stay plugged in, man. You know what I mean, we will be back on the 23rd, man. So, deuce.
You are now tuned in at Industry Sessions with my girl and my main man DJ Butta-fingaz.
Oh, what's all right? I'm like, yeah, I just sent him a text.
Yeah, he was gonna say if you was gonna take a little extra, he'll give you extra on his. That's what he was trying to say.
Yeah, that's all I couldn't because I'm interviewing.
Oh, okay. Hey, look,
Huh?
if they want to come next week, they can sit down. I'll do just end of the day.
I'll say next week I'll give him an hour.
Yeah, so he can go because I ain't gonna make it here until 2. See how
I'm gonna get him the first hour and give you the second hour.
So I'm not sure.
How was your
It was good. I did that break. I didn't really do much, but
Hey, if you need some R&B artists, I got a few on the send your way.
why I gotta be R&B artist?
I feel like you play more R&B.
Cut it out.
Okay, nah. Look, I just feel like you play R&B.
Well, and I think it's big.
Yeah, see, you mix more than us, and I feel like they get better fit on your show than my show. You see what I'm saying? And I feel like you would be better suited for them. You see what I'm saying?